Well, drivers, we have lost another one. After 71 years, Carroll Fulmer is closing its doors, and you are not going to believe the reason why. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and grab a cup of coffee, sit back and relax, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so Carroll Fulmer is shutting up shop after 71 years. Now, they have been based out of Groveland, Florida, and they are about 400 drivers strong, 600 total employees. Been in business for 71 years, and they cannot keep up. So here's what's going on with them. In 2022, when the market decided it wanted to start crashing at an all-time low, a lot of people are calling it the trucker recession, which I agree to. They have been struggling ever since. I think a lot of companies are struggling. There's Werner currently stopped doing the contributions for 401ks for their employees to cut costs. A lot of companies are feeling the pressure right now. So on top of the recession and the fact that they are based out of Groveland, Florida, which Florida is not a very good freight market to begin with, which is why they typically don't pay as well as other trucking companies, they are dealing with lawsuits, specifically injury lawsuits. They have about 6 to 8 going on currently, with a minimum of $250,000 apiece. He has stated saying that there are many attorneys who make it seem easy to sue a trucking company. Many of these lawsuits are bogus, meaning that no injury actually occurred, but we still have to fight them, and that takes a lot of money. These payments cause people to lose jobs and businesses to close, and insurance rates to increase for everyone. We can't carry on. It's tiring and it's draining fighting all the time. Sadly, we've had enough. I know I can't deal with this anymore. So between the two, they are having to close their doors. Now, I will say that they are trying to help their drivers as much as possible, which I'm very grateful for this. Not a lot of companies would do this kind of thing. So it's good to see that they're stepping up to help their drivers as best as they can find a new job within a certain time frame. We feel the most for our employees, he said. All employees will be paid for 60 days. Carroll Fulmer, along with the assistance of local businesses in the city of Groveland, will be helping their employees obtain positions with other businesses. I think that's awesome. You don't really hear about trucking companies trying to help their drivers find employment after they've had to close their doors. So it goes to show the type of company that Carroll Fulmer was. I've always heard really good things about them. I never specifically drove for them. I almost did. The only reason why I didn't is because it's a Florida market, so they didn't pay as much as I would have needed at the time, which is why I did not join them. And they're a big part of Groveland, very big part. Groveland's kind of a smaller community, and they have been very proud to have Carroll Fulmer there for, I believe they've been there for about 35 years, somewhere around there. So here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. This is happening a lot. And if we as drivers want to see our industry get back to some type of former glory, it will never be what it was. I mean, I think we can all understand and agree to that. But until we see 3 different types of people that have invaded our space get over-regulated and not have nearly as much control and power as they do, we are not going to see any type of improvement anytime soon. Insurance companies have so much power over this industry, and they are literally destroying the smaller companies. Owner-operators cannot pay the premiums anymore. A lot of drivers cannot pay the premiums of how much they've gone up because of the amount of coverage we need to be safe. No. That's not it at all. Lawyers, every time they drive by a truck on the interstate, the only thing they see is, oh, that's a name I could write down. I can make money from that. Because you're guaranteed at least one truck and trailer as an asset. You do a quick Google search. Oh, Carroll Fulmer has 400 drivers. They've probably got between 400 and 500 trucks. Probably got 1,500 to 2,000 trailers, depending on the market that they service. That's a lot of millions in assets that they have that I could go after. And that last person we really need to fight is brokers, because they are draining the bank accounts of drivers dry. We aren't getting the rates that we deserve because of brokers, essentially. So if we don't do anything about these companies, we're not going to see any different in our industry. And this is a prime example of this. Prime example. I don't know if you guys know or remember, but 2018, Werner went through probably the biggest lawsuit ever to be put towards a trucking company that I know of. It was in 2018 in Texas. There was a driver. It was winter conditions on the road. There was some kind of storm coming through or something like that. Driver was heading one direction. He was being safe. He was driving for conditions. He was minding his own business. Just driving along, doing his thing. There was a lady on the other side of the interstate heading the opposite direction. Loses control of her vehicle. Jumps the median. Hits the Werner driver. Okay. I think it was one of her kids tragically lost their life. Another kid was severely injured. I believe he is paralyzed. And she sued Werner for $90 million. $90 million. She won that lawsuit. They found some crazy people for that jury that agreed that Werner was at fault, that she lost control of her vehicle, and she won that lawsuit initially. Now, Werner appealed it, obviously, and then they found a judge that, has a brain and common sense and reversed it, and that's actually got reversed, I believe, this year and dismissed. It was earlier this year. It took them 6 years. 6 years to get that finalized, to get that reversed and dismissed. And that's Werner. Werner has thousands of drivers. Carroll Fulmer only had 400. Big difference. And Werner's self-insured. I don't think Carroll Fulmer is. I think they have third-party insurance. This is why this industry is falling apart. The mitigation systems, the safety systems we have on these trucks nowadays, I'm about to make that video next, because nobody is safe. I can't even begin to tell you guys how many times I have almost lost control of my truck because of the collision mitigation going off because a leaf blew by in front of me at 70 miles an hour on the road. I mean, I'm not even kidding. There is nothing in front of me and it just goes off. Slams on the brakes during snow or during rain. Several times that has happened. That's a whole other video. But yes, this is a huge problem. This is a huge problem. We are losing good quality companies like Carroll Fulmer and others because of insurance and lawyers. And it's sad. It's sad. So if you guys are a driver or an employee with Carroll Fulmer, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you about how you're being treated, what the situation is like behind the scenes. If you have been with a company that has gone through something similar to this in the last few years, because there's been a lot of companies that have closed, leave a comment down below. I'm very curious about behind the scenes stories like this, just to find out how everything is going, if they are living up to the 60-day pay that they say they want to do for their drivers, and if they're actually helping you guys find employment. I'd love to hear from you. So please leave a comment if you have. With that being said, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video.